Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a Link to the Past Randomizer tournament. We have the first of our round 4 games. The semifinals are starting officially right now here, as we have Jet082 versus P-Train. I am Wolfling0270, and joining me on the mic tonight is Huffman. How are you doing, sir? And good evening to you as well.
I'm doing all right. Yeah, quarterfinals, not semifinals. We have 8.
Oh, did I say semi?
You said semifinals.
Whoops.
What? We're off to a rollicking start here, folks, and hopefully Jet and P-Train will be off to a less sarcastically rollicking start with their seeds. We'll be studying that in a moment or two.
So yeah, folks, it is a quarterfinals game, not a semifinals game. My mistake. Slip of the tongue. The winner of this set will advance to the semifinals, though, and we'll be fighting the winner of Zelda and Ninban.
Yes, now, of course, both of these runners have had a long road to get here. Jet has managed to make it here without taking a single loss in the bracket stage, surprisingly. P-Train has had a more traditional run, a few 2-1 runs. So we are looking at some very, very tough competition here, and we are looking at 50 rupees in the Sanctuary to start things off.
Indeed, and both runners starting at Sanctuary too, so we don't know what's going to be at Link's house here for a while. Both seem to be taking the Lost-Wood route. We'll see if one of them decides to deviate to Aghanim. And of course, this being the match one of this set, the settings are open 7-7 and nothing else.
Yep, this is a standard, well, not standard, a normal opening for how this tournament has gone.
Yes.
Standard would be non-standard.
Of course. The loser of this match can decide to change things up in the set to give them an advantage. That's how the tournament has been. As we are seeing Aghanim, and it is only 50 rupees on the Lumberjack ledge, so he's not required for that tonight, but he might be required for our Dark World axes. We don't know yet.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are running for that early 100 rupees to hit up the bottle vendor, but half of that is sitting somewhere that we can't touch it. So, hope to see a little bit of money here in the Lost Woods, or some bombs to make the top part of Kakariko a little more accessible.
Well, we have the Hoarder Crabs, and as long as they go into the well, they'll have 100 rupees, because they can lift the pots there, and each of them have 5. And there's another 20 right there at the mushroom spot as well.
Yep, so that is really the first of the headaches out of your way. There's even a little more money.
Ooh.
P-Train is going to stop there, though, and I would presume a save quit over to Link's house and kind of take a more southern route.
I presume a little bit more westerly at first, because there is a bomb shop over here that does sell bombs for 100 rupees. No, he's going to go for a traditional Uncle opening. You don't usually see this second. This is...
Yeah, P-Train's sitting there. The only item he's got so far is that shield, so not really able to go and dip into escape from here.
No. Does find another 50 rupees on Uncle, though. Meanwhile, Jet checking the back of the... Oh, hello. Back of the bar has the Power Gloves for us tonight. And the Cane and Burna. That is technically a weapon you can use to go down escape with, but it's very unwieldy.
Yeah, P-Train is not going to make that play. Gonna head back home. Jet hitting up the shop in Kakariko to get some bombs and continue on this route.
And one bomb immediately giving you 300 rupees.
That's one bit of big money.
Unfortunately, P-Chain unlucky with the 250-50 bushes. Gonna reset the screen and try again. And the merchant has 3 bombs anyway.
Well, now P-Train has 2, so should be able to save that bit of money. We do get to see that map check.
Hera, green pendant. The other 2 dungeons crystals. And a sword on the
Oh.
race game, and another sword there. Immediate master sword of it that we know of right off the gate. And some armor as well.
Well, you know what? That's rather convenient.
It's rather convenient and also rather suspicious.
That is
I'm
true.
not going to say it's an Aghanim. 2 swords relatively early on could mean that Aghanim is in logic when we find the lamp. Actually, it definitely means we're in logic with the lamp. But doesn't mean it's going to be a thing. That's what we need to figure out.
Yeah, considering we have found a glove and now a mirror down in Blind's hut.
And the moon
and
pearl.
the moon pearl. So we are just a hammer away from not having to worry about it.
Indeed, it can go either way, which is really suspect.
Yeah, honestly, you either want to get that Aga worry out of your head as quick as possible, or just have a extremely sparse opening to just really make it clear, like, no, you gotta go do this. There's no doubt.
Hmm.
Looks like Jet is going to sweep down and look at and certainly grab the race game sword. P-Train is going to come up, get the big load of money, and probably just get the bombs off the bottle vendor, not have to worry about the purchase.
So in double checking the crystals, we have Crystal 3 and Crystal 1, which are not important crystals. We want to see Crystals 5 and 6. So both of those are in the Dark World somewhere.
Yeah, but it does also mean that our 2 unnecessary pendants are over in the Dark World, so we could end up with very important Mire and Turtle Rock, or very not important Mire and Turtle Rock.
Well, they might not be important to clear, but they might have some items in them.
Yeah.
Turtle Rock, in particular, being fairly notorious for having progression when it's not required. So both runners now getting their master swords in different locations.
Mm-hmm.
See where they take them.
Jet.
Go on.
Yeah, Jet's heading, I guess, to the back of Escape with that glove and that master sword. Gonna take that quick dip.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jet immediately goes to do South Shore after this.
I almost expected him to go there first, but either order
Titans,
is fine.
Dark World.
Ooh.
Aghanim is not off the table yet, though. It depends entirely on our crystal layout and where our flippers or hammer is.
Yeah, we are at the stage where if you're really good with glitches, you can maybe get away from having to do Aga if it is required. But it's looking pretty unlikely at this point.
For anyone who might watch for the first time, in this current situation, we do have Dark World access, but we do not have access to the Palace of Darkness region of the Dark World. So unless we find the flippers to let us cross the Lake of the Omen, or the hammer to cross the land bridge to that section of the map, we have to fight Aghanim logically in order to get over to that side. Alternatively, at this stage, we could also have a situation in which the hammer is on Pyramid Ferry, and that also would force a Aghanim situation because there's no way to get the super realm over. However, we have actually vanilla 5/6 crystals. One of those dungeons requires the hammer, so that cannot be a instance tonight. Did you happen to catch where our pendants were, Hupfin?
Thieves Town and Turtle Rock.
Hmm.
So those are 2 of the more notorious locations for pendants. Thieves Town being the one dungeon that's pretty much accessible the moment you can get into the Dark World, no matter what. And being a little lengthy on the back end for other items. And then Turtle Rock, it's Turtle Rock.
So, at this point, only Aghanim can be required if we don't have access to the Palace of Darkness region.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like our runners probably have Aga off the mind, and they're a little more worried about what dungeons they have proper access to, which
Yeah, and
right now is a very small set.
And if both of these runners know how to do what is called, I believe is called the kern setup for water walking, or even splash deletion, which is one of the Ancilla tricks, they could just straight up skip the flippers requirement and just go over to Palace of Darkness.
Now that won't save you in Swamp Palace, which is one of our crystals, so we are going to need the flippers. You can do splash deletion and I think one or two other tricks in there, but they just soft lock you.
Big chest leading to a small key.
Yeah, this has all been a very reasonable dip into Skull Woods, even without that fire rod yet, but has not paid out.
I've heard of runners thinking check Lost Woods as if it's just another overworld cave, which does work out in most cases, as we see 10 arrows on the buffered cave ledge.
I just noticed those are the first arrows we've seen at all.
Actually, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Jet gonna take the mirror and the Titan's Mitts over to check Graveyard Ledge. And if the boots are in Graveyard Ledge, could also get to King's Doom while they are here.
But no such luck here. That is kind of a tough spot to be in, because you usually want to loop this in with boots to do King's Doom Bonk Rocks with it, but when it's accessible so early on, you kind of, runners like to metagame a little bit, and you kind of think, well, I can get to this so quickly. It's got to have something, or at least it has a good chance of having something.
Yeah, but thankfully in this case, it's just a quick Sanctuary Warp away. They'll just have those routed at the start of one of their routing. Both for check CS at the same time. At least we get to see my favorite shield in the game. And there's Tempered already. Wow.
Yeah.
They really want us to have Swords this seed for some reason.
Well, that reason might be the limited health that we're seeing.
Ah, that is true. Kill them before they kill you. A classic mentality, I think, when it comes to games like this.
What is the line? There's no defense like good offense?
The best defense is a good offense, I believe is the line, yeah.
There you go.
So I believe we've only seen one item here in Thieves Town.
I don't think we've seen any, because that was a small key. P-Train has already found the big key, and yeah, there's 2 chests left to go. So this has been a pretty dry front.
And there's the map. Oh,
wow.
Don't be compass. Okay. So there is a chance they can go in the back here for more items, but I don't think... Yeah, P-Train's going to dip out.
Yeah, going into the back right now is a fair bit of a commitment, not just for the time, but for the fact that you don't have that hammer, so there's pretty good odds that there's some kind of item in the big chest that you need the hammer to access.
Jet Manuel did not mirror...
Jet's going.
Yeah. Feels 3 items is enough to warrant at least a precursory dip. The hammer could be one of those 2 items, and the chest could have the third for all we know.
Yeah, and with the small key being in the front, we know we are not hammerlocked. P-Train, meanwhile, is going to go dig up a heart container. So, hey, that's nice to have right about now, and only 4 digs to get it.
And P-Train is going to most likely take this long, winding route here to check as much as he can without having the hammer. Oh, gonna even route him the Smiths, too.
So yeah, this is not an unreasonable play from P-Train at all. You're probably going to need to do this, or at least you're going to find yourself in a position where you're thinking, I should do the Smith chain, and you're taking this route, you have the equipment, you're only orphaning 2 locations, and they're not even that far away from anywhere else you might be landing.
Yeah, so far hasn't paid out with the Swift chain yet, but of course, with this purple chest, as well as anything else beyond this, we might have some more items available to us. And just abandoning just even something as simple as hammer pigs, if we find the powder, we can just wrap that in with magic bat. Makes it a little bit more of an appetizing check.
So P-Train is absolutely going for the density, hitting up the most locations possible, all of them being overworld. Jet is straight away making what is frankly a gamble, really hoping that back here is something. But over in Cave 45 is that powder.
Yeah, if we have the powder here on P-Train side. Unfortunately, Jet just found the compass in the cell, which means there is an item in the big chest that Jet is leaving behind by default. We have every other dungeon item in this place.
Yeah, this is looking more and more like Jet's gamble is not paying out.
Meanwhile, P-Train found a blue potion on the Smithy. That is important to note because that is our first bottle, which unlocks the sick kit as an item. Or the sick kit's item, rather. What? Was that 4 hits on blind?
However many it was, it got the job done.
That was strange. Whatever, first spend in for Jet. Probably doesn't need it, but at least the boss is dead. Meanwhile, Hype Cave. Starting off with a heart piece. A heart container. 10 arrows. 3 bombs. And the fire rod!
It held out to the end, but it paid off.
That is also our fire source for some of our dark runes as well. So that's pretty valuable to find.
Definitely is. It puts the remainder of Skull Woods in the table.
Huh. That's actually something I did not know, although I thought Blind's health was fixed. Sword Beam's apparently not doing full damage to Blind. Never knew that.
I mean, there's so many things that do damage to Blind.
Yeah, and I thought his health was a flat 3 hits. Yeah, she learned something new, I guess.
And we learned we just have some soggy bombs over by the well. And some arrows in the locked chest. So the whole Smith's chain has not really paid out.
Alright, we're seeing a check that is normally abandoned for a long time with Egina. P-Train being very
thorough with the overworld checks. And I don't blame him. I would get burned by a stray overworld check in one of these races.
Yeah, and that is as good a time as any, honestly. Unless you want to hold off until you're able to go to Desert Palace itself.
Hmm.
Yeah, we've seen enough runs over the course of this tournament that have more or less been decided by how soon you went to Agina. That, again, you might find yourself metagaming and just being like, I'm close enough, let's get it out of the way, let's make sure it doesn't ruin my run.
Well, also, with the routing that Peter did, he went down and around to go turn in the purple chest, and then just continued in the desert, and then from the save quit, went back down and to the right to go check mini Molder. So that actually works out overall. Basically taking one fork to its inevitable conclusion, and going on the other fork of, that is the crossroads, I guess, of the dam, I guess. I don't know where I'm going with that. It made sense in my head.
Well, wherever it is, that's where Jet's going, having decided to leave Agina behind. And P-Train is going to head all the way over to the Ice Rod Cave. Again, not abandoning overworld locations.
We might see P-Train do fake livers from this point. Which...
yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
Well, you can't buy Zora's item, but you can get most of the other information out of that place as well. Although, considering we currently have Dark World access, but no access to... It's kind of a weird situation. I think I would wait until we have access to Catfish before I go up to the Zora region. But that's just me.
Well, with walking out of the cave instead of save quitting, it's looking like P-Train is going to set up a fake flipper.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the play. The drawbacks here right now is that P-Train does not have enough money to pay Zora. And in doing this, he either isolates Zora and Catfish, or will check them both at a later point.
But honestly, we're at the point of the last 8 runners in this whole tournament. You've got to have not just great execution, but really clever routing and being willing to take risks that might not pay off, but if they do, they are huge for you.
And I actually... Okay, I like what P-Train did here. Uses the waterfall to set up fake flip... the water... or walk trick, rather. And isn't using the water walk trick to check Hobo instead of going up to check Catfish's ledge.
Yeah, swimming up here properly is just annoying.
And a heart piece out of the deal. This also leaves the Zora domain and Catfish checks a little bit more of a tasteful play when we have the mirror to go up to Catfish. And we haven't... Something I just realized, we have not seen Escape yet.
No, but with Jet doing this save and quit to Link's house, well, not save and quit, a mirror rather. Yeah, heading up towards Uncle. Probably going to go and take care of that whole deal as well.
Yeah, I want to say the chests on the way. Even Dark Cross is in logic with the Fire Rod. From this entry point.
Yeah, I believe all of the dark rooms in the castle do have the torches. So, with the rule set that we are using, Fire Rod does put those into logic.
Yeah, a recent change to the logic was the inclusion of the torches being lit in dark rooms to navigate through them.
Yep, of course you can still use the classic logic where you must have the lamp no matter what. But these are runners who do dark rooms on the regular, so we might not even see the fire rod come out. We are definitely going to see it come out for P-Train, though, as he's taking on the back of Skull Woods.
Map in the map chest.
Where it belongs.
What does belong is that mirror shield. Can we get rid of that, please? That's why I like the fire shield so much. It gives you a good amount of protection, and then when you're done with it, you can have it eaten by a picket. Mirror shield, you're stuck with it. Anyway, the ball field fight going on.
Yeah, not a hassle here with Tempered Sword, reasonable amount of hearts, and Blue Mail. It's whatever. It's our first crystal at 25-23 in this race.
So far, Jet's dip into the castle has not paid out too much. I stand corrected. Bombos has just shown up.
That is a... that's an interesting one. We don't know if we need Bombos.
Yeah, because we had the fire rod for ice balance.
Yeah.
But for all
we do know that we don't need to go back here, though. The small key is going to be here. Oh, there's a lamp.
So fire rod locked the lamp.
Because
that's
why
not even a new. That's not even a new logic change. That's just classic fire rod right there.
Yep. So that puts the entire... Well, no, that puts the left side of the mountain in logic. With no hook shot, no hammer, we can't really go over to the right side.
Oh, right, we never did find the small key. I guess it was in the Dark Cross chest.
Yeah.
But yeah, the mountain being in logic doesn't really feel like a great play, in my opinion. It's mainly because there's only 2 checks available right now. And
yeah, there's
whatever's in Tower Hera, but why would you go in Tower Hera when it's Green Pendant?
Desperation. Probably.
Desperation. Yeah, desperation. What we haven't seen yet is Eastern, and that could also have progression, probably now.
Very well could. At this point, we know that logically we can access everything but the boss.
And Jet isn't even gonna bother with the lamp. Granted, Jet doesn't know where it is. Alright, the old man first today bestows upon us 20 rupees. And bombs are covered P-Train. Is he thinking current jump?
You know, you don't come over here if you're not.
He's trying to get the right pixel here. There's the bomb. Gets it first try. Very nicely done.
There you go.
So Kern has not Kern, sorry, P-Train. P-Train is broken out into the normally... Wow, whoa, wait, what?
Gold sword in Spec Rock. Sure. I don't think Jet's gonna bother.
No. Or he's gonna check Hera first and then get it on the way out. We don't really need it, but at the same time, that would make a fairly easy serverless Vitreous fight.
Anyway, sure, all 4 swords are in logic already. What P-Train's doing, not in logic. but
Yeah,
could
P-Train
pay out.
could pay out, although we get the boomerang. And early big key, no need to do the Harapod trick, the seed. Did Jet even check the second chest? I don't think he did.
Nope, didn't even bother.
Okay then, might have missed an item, but we'll see.
I mean, if you find all the items doing this climb, you never have to.
That is also true. And it'll be fast enough to come back in and double check in case you did miss the item.
And yes, this is a pendant Hera. It is a green pendant though, so that is a bonus extra item for when Jet heads over to visit Sahasrarla. And yeah, if you're gambling that this might be a pedestal seed that's not impossible yet, then hey, you've got a huge advantage on your opponent by doing this.
Still could be an accuracy for all we know. We have not seen the flippers or the hammer yet. To put the pyramid, the Palace of Darkness, or the catfish in logic. And yeah, Chad is also pointing out it's...
Go ahead.
Chad is also pointing out that is correct. Because we do have the lamp and the tempered sword, it is now sequence breaking, not logic breaking. Because we can then officially do Aghanim if we need to. So the question now is, can he be avoided like P-Train was doing?
Yeah, I guess to that end, Jet is also sequence breaking, but not logic breaking, having come up here without a lamp.
There's the hammer!
And make it a play!
So, everything P-Train just did is in logic once you visit Hera.
Yeah, that is the find that Jet was hoping for with that entire Thieves Town dip.
Yeah, Hera having progression. Who'd have thunk? And that also gives Jet the full access to East Death Mountain as well, where there is a whole slew of items waiting. Not gonna waste any time though. Gonna check Turtle Rock's medallion.
It's a reasonable portal to set up if nothing else, and if it's Bombos, open it up, get it out of the way. It's Bombos.
Okay. We don't have the Cane of Samari yet to go deeper in. But if we do go deeper in, could have our bow, could have our hook shot. We could have we could have something else that's important as well. We don't know yet.
Yeah, there is a lot of opportunity up on this mountain.
Agreed.
But there's also a good amount of opportunity over in Palace of Darkness, and that's where P-Train is heading.
Couple of hearts for Jet.
Let's see what Sahasrarla is hiding behind the wall. When Jet comes by, we'll be able to find out what he's hiding in his pocket.
Funny, the bucketing net, and a heart piece. Which does give P-Train another heart container.
Yeah, I think our runners are at the point where heart containers are nice to haves anymore. Once you're at 8 with Blue Mail, you're feeling okay for most of the seed.
Alright, first look in Palace of Darkness here. We now know this is in logic, is in sequence. But it's currently not for P-Train, at least in terms of sequence.
Yeah, unfortunately, this mountain is yet to really pay out for Jet. This side of the mountain, I should say.
And now it won't be in logic because we don't have a small key. There's the Cane of Samaria on Jet's end.
Well,
And Quake as well.
so we have a strong chance that we can get into Meyer, or at least open the door. And Jet could very well waltz right into T-Rock if he so chooses.
Yeah, and could clear most of it out. Mimic Haze available as an option. Really, it wouldn't be a bad play to make, as we see a Mimic Clip here from P-Train. These two know what tricks are legal, of course. They are actually two members of the Racing Council. I don't think we mentioned that yet.
No, we have not. I'm a little surprised P-Train went for that first and is just now going for the bottle clip. That's usually just a faster maneuver, because look how quick it is.
Well, P-Train had to waste a bomb for that, so it definitely could have been faster maybe to do the Mimic Clip.
Maybe. I don't know. With my times running this game, I'm maybe not the best person to debate seconds.
Oh, I would be just as bad, most likely. But if nothing else, P-Train, I think, was at least trying to save on resources. Which also makes sense. Probably want to save that red potion for when he needed it or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not unreasonable.
Although the counterpoint there is P-Train had a blue potion, so red potion is kind of outdated at this point.
And, of course, did pick up an incentive to go visit the witches with that mushroom. But has not got the Cane of Samaria, so might be thinking, hold off a little bit, maybe fake flipper, or not fake flipper, fake powder. Well, no, you got powder. What am I talking about? I went a long way to get nowhere.
So we have found 2 items currently at the start here in Turtle Rock, which means this has to be a small key here, chain jumps, and the big key has to be vanilla as well. Oh no!
Ooh. Those chain chops wanted to eat that block so badly.
Yeah, chain jumps being the second highest damage in the game. The first is contact damage from Ganon, of course. They don't mess around even on Blue Mail. They can eat through your health bar pretty quick if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, or if you're just plain unlucky with positioning.
Speaking of positioning, there is a hammer up attempt here on P-Train's end. Not quite.
That is a very precise trick, and it's very difficult to do without a lot of pause buffering.
Yeah. It is double pixel perfect. You have to place your bomb in the right pixel and then move a certain amount of pixels up, I want to say. I think it's like 8.
Yeah, I believe it is 8. That's one of the tricks that I have not mastered by any long shot.
Neither have I, to be honest. Although I have put in some practice on it. I'm not good at it, but I have put in some practice.
Yeah, again, we're seeing runners who can take those incredibly difficult tricks and just make them look effortless.
Indeed. Alright, Dark Maze coming in for P-Train.
Yeah, if there's no bow in here, then that's a bail. And if there is a bow, that is another sequence break, because we needed one to get in the place.
Indeed. Which means this would be our intended silvers. Not here, though.
And we will have most likely a lull in item checks here for a little bit. Nope, never mind. P-Train's going into Eastern Palace, but I would like to shout out our tracker, GFB12 there in chat, keeping the items up to date, and more importantly, keeping us honest up here in the booth. So thank you for keeping those items highlighted for us. The 10 bomb back on Mimic Cave side. When we start with the big key here in Eastern. So guaranteed 2 items, possibly 3 available for P-Train here. It depends entirely if the boss is holding one of them.
Yeah, unfortunately, if none of those items are the bow, P-Train is going to have to make another dip back in here once we have that, because this is a crystal dungeon, just like Pod.
Indeed. Although it wouldn't be the bad play to leave Pod and Eastern alone for the time being, because you can do them all in one quick swoop.
Yeah, these are far from the worst to have to double dip, but anytime you're double dipping a dungeon, you're a little upset and a little worried. Not as much as if you find yourself having to dip pendant dungeons. I'm gonna stop rambling because that's a hook shot.
That's a hook shot, and that does logically put the east side of Death Mountain logic for P-Train. But that's also a bad thing if you think about it, as we do confirm that we have an item on the boss here with the compass.
Yeah.
Because P-Train will see that Turtle Rock is open, find the Cadence of Maria, dive in there, and might just isolate Hera as a result. There's our flippers as well in Turtle Rock.
Well, now, Turtle Rock, you need the hammer to get in, so you cannot dive in there without diving into Hera first. But
That's true.
having that access, Hera's the last place you're going to look on that mountain. Also, we have the flippers on Laser Bridge, because why not?
So, anything that... The Ice Rod cannot be on Trinex or the Ganon's Tower. We know that much. But nothing's stopping it from being behind those flippers. So it could be in Ice Palace, could be in Swamp now. Swamp is now full clearable to our knowledge.
And there's nothing keeping, say, the boots or the flute from being on pedestal. And we do need that flute.
Yeah, there's nothing keeping them either. Ooh.
So we could be in for either a very gnarly seed or one that's still rather rude, but Jet has managed to just breeze through with some really clever gambles.
Jet is going to follow into Ice Palace here. Really, I put the advantage in Jet's hands right now. Been a little bit more thorough with following the logic, and it has rewarded him for doing so. P-Train, meanwhile, has been doing all the overworld checks that he can possibly do. And it has paid out in some regards as well. But I think Jet, by following logic, has been able to find more of the required items faster.
Yeah, I think your point is pretty spot on about Jet following the logic. It felt very silly to go and do all these pendant dungeons, but how many dungeons did we truly have logical sequential access to?
Not a lot. And as Chat's pointing out, as far as we already know, we need to find one of those 2 bows, the flute, and potentially Ether, Medallion pending on Ether, on Mystery Mire access, and we're in go mode. Oh, but we also need that Ice Rod. I almost forgot about that. I always forget about that Ice Rod. Oh, no, wait, we not need that either. I'm being dumb.
Yeah, we might not. It depends on so many other things right now.
Well, we're hoping for a Petsy. We do need it, so.
But that's kind of the thing. Right now there are only 2 items outstanding that we know we need. We know we need a bow. We know we need a flute. We might need a bunch of other items to get there.
Yeah, it's all gonna come down to where we find our first bow. And given that we didn't find a bow in Palace of Darkness, I'm inclined to believe that the second bow is in Ganon's Tower. So we have Silver's Ganon's Tower confirmed. Or at least as far as I'm concerned.
Confirmed in our hearts. Maybe not in our brains, but in our hearts.
Yeah. There's only going to be one available bow is what I'm getting at. And it's probably going to be here in Ice Palace, maybe Swamp.
We're going to see Jet do the second of 2 Ice Palace bomb jumps, the less common one and the less frequently valuable one. We know that's not required. We've got the hook shot, like it's all good. But if you could do it, do it.
Now here's something that might twist things into P-Train's favor here. Jet did not have the hook shot. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
But so he could not check Hookshot Cave. P-Train does have the hook shot. And so if the ice shot of the bow is there, then P-Train's in a really good spot because Jet may not go there for a while. Well, with that amount of having both pendants. There's the flute.
Oh!
So Ice Palace.
Well.
That is incredibly huge.
Yep, that will let Jet not only just get around faster, will give us access to the mire area. Jet still cannot get into mire itself, though. Has to go into Eastern to pick up that hook shot or stumble upon the boots.
Yeah, but if the bow is in the mire area, we can be in no mode in the next 5 minutes.
Very well could be. Or P-Train might stumble upon it here.
Yeah.
Just gotta say, we've seen impressive divergence.
Very impressive divergence, yeah. This thing could go either way, really, at this point. It depends on who finds the other items first, really. And it makes sense that Jet is leaving Eastern and Pod alone until he has the bow. But at the same time, the bow could be locked behind that hookshot in Eastern. Or it's on the witches at the mushroom spot. We don't know.
Yeah.
And P-Train is going to be hitting into Harrow, so we'll have the hammer.
I mean, it's the last thing to do up here. Take care of this hammer. I actually might take that and dip into Spike Cave, which I don't think Jet did.
I don't think he did it either, no.
I mean, that is just one location, but it's in that category of annoying overworld locations that there's never a good time to do it. You just do it once you can. And there's P-Train finding the hammer, taking a moment, and walking up the tower.
This is a little bit nerve-wracking here on Jet's side. You want to be rooting for him right here. Gets a spin. Ooh. Ooh, that was very close. I'm going to point out he didn't take any damage, but look at his health. He could have easily died in that fight. Well done.
Very well done indeed. So that is Jet's first crystal.
Tying up the score, but it's still anyone's race at this point. We don't know until one of them hits go mode.
And after that, Jet has not done any of these water checks yet. Hasn't checked under the bridge, hasn't gone up the river to Zora.
We haven't
So
seen
now's a
Zora's
good time to
item.
route all that in.
Actually,
Yeah, that was very early available.
yeah, we didn't see Zora's item, and we haven't paid King Zora yet either. And P-Train's pretty much abandoned those checks. Those are very isolated to him right now.
Yeah, having done Catfish, they are extremely isolated.
So if one of those is the bow, Jet's gonna go straight to Eastern and find the hookshot and potentially be in go mode.
Yeah, if one of those is the bow, P-Train is going to have to hope that the other bow is in somewhere just as accessible. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, this is getting very fast, very quick here.
But
And we're only
P-Train
50.
Oh, go ahead.
P-Train is entering Turtle Rock, as you were about to say. This scene could end at any time, and we're only 50 minutes in, is what I was going to say.
Yeah, that's very true.
Alright, first look at Zora Ledge. 10 arrows. Okay, P-Train has dodged one bullet, but does the Zora King himself have another ready to go? King Zora, just a piece of art. So P-Train has, in fact, not isolated anything important, so that is good. That flute, though. That flute's what is interesting me right now.
Yep, and it looks like Jet is going to run straight over and redeem that. You know, you're in the area, redeem Sick Kid and Magic Bat as well. Get it all out of the way. Sick Kid, another check that was accessible kind of early on. Not as early as Zora, but still kind of early.
Alright. Flute coming online now for Jet. We'll see where the flute takes him. Most likely to desert, because I don't think Jet's been over in that region at all. And actually, I just realized, with the flute, we have access to Desert Palace.
That we do, but we don't know if we can finish it. We have to see what's on that torch.
Indeed. So we could still be 2 items away from go mode, in fact. We also haven't seen Sick Kid, I don't think.
We have not. This is a nice little cluster of locations that were kind of orphaned, but you know, we gathered the ability with a few steps, and this is the right time to come back.
Yeah, Jet's not gonna leave any items behind before heading over to Misery Mire. Gonna check the Magic Bat. Gonna most likely go to the Dark Road real quick and check the Hammer Pegs, and then most likely go over to Desert and Misery Mire.
So I guess what we conclude from that is that the Magic Bat loves Jet more than the Sick Kid. I mean, by 4 times as much.
One would think it'd be the reverse, considering we woke the bat up very rudely.
I don't know. I just make jokes. They don't necessarily make sense. Jet's play is making a lot of sense, though. Coming over to Mire area, but pulling that mirror out.
Too fast. I think it was Bombos. Chat's confirming. Bombos. One medallion fits all
so
this feed.
There we go.
Okay, so bow and potentially boots for go mode. It all comes down to the torch here in regards to the torch item. It might actually be both. I just thought of something. What if the bow is on the torch?
Ooh.
Nope.
Nope, it's the key. So we are boots locked.
Yep, logically boots locked. But are we completely boots locked? It depends if the big key is in this chest.
Completely boots locked. Oof.
All right, so the boots are out there somewhere, waiting for us to find them.
Now, Jet's not going to be able to get into Meyer, but we do have that access. We do have that hook shot, so we could get in there.
At 5 rupees here. So, I think no matter what at this point, we're looking at a double dip situation. I think we're looking at either you dip Palace of Darkness for the mushroom so you can get the bow off the witches. Or we're looking at dipping Eastern for the hook shot so we can get the bow out of either Misery Mire or Swamp. There is a fringe case in which the bow can be in the front half of Swamp, but you don't want to go in there with the hook shot.
Nah, you're not risking that.
And I'm not even going to consider the pedestal as an option because we don't have the Ice Rod for Turtle Rock to finish that off.
But GFE is pointing out there's still Hammer Pegs, there's still Thieves Town, Big Chest, there's still Green Pendant. There are a few one-off locations still left, but they're few and far between.
Yeah, and it looks like Green Pendant will be the first one we see. And Jet, as a reminder, cleared this very early on. We have yet to see it. So let's see if this is the answer. Yes, it is!
Oh!
It's the bow! That is huge for Jet!
Wow! Good thing P-Train went and did Moldorm.
Well then, that point will incentivize Jet to definitely go and finish those dungeons. They will be in Logic, and that means the boots could be in pretty much anywhere in the sea that has logical access. Swamp could be have them. The mushroom can have them. It doesn't matter. It's boots and go mode here in a few short minutes.
You know, it's not as brutal as the Ice Rod hunt for Go mode, but just knowing that you want the boots so much earlier than this, that's a little brutal in and of itself.
We might be in no mode here in a little bit. P-Train looks to be heading into Swamp with and if the boots are here, then we know. We'll have the omnipotent vision from our perch up high. Or something, I don't know. We'll know where the boots are, which means we'll know where the go mode is. For Jet. The only hope that P-Train has right now is if the second bow and the boots are here in Swamp. Because if that's the case, then P-Train is in a go mode of his own with the second bow.
And at that point, I don't know that you don't bother to go visit Sahasrara, so would not end up with silvers.
That is correct. I wouldn't do that either.
Yeah. If you end up, oh yeah, P-Train doesn't have the flute. Hasn't gone to Ice Palace.
That's right. That's right.
So
he's not wouldn't be in go mode yet.
So P-Train is more likely to full clear Swamp, and you know if the bow or the boots are on left side, Jet's less likely to do that until, desperation.
I don't know. Jet will most likely do Eastern first and find the hook shot, and then Jet knows he is one item away from go mode. And in that situation, when you're in one item hunt for go mode, I don't think you leave anything behind in Swamp. Because that one item could just be right there, and you just left it behind.
That is a strong point, especially with how Jet's been playing pretty thoroughly.
That's something that chat just mentioned here, and I didn't even think about it. The boots could be in Thieves Town.
Yeah.
You still have one unclaimed item in the big chest.
And I think P-Train has a bit more incentive to go there, having not done the rest of it. So it's not one item, it's several items. Jet is just leaving that single thing there.
Every Yump attempt from Jet.
P-Train doing what is a pretty classic route at this point, going and hitting the back of Swamp, and then looping back in, and then maybe you do the left side. Maybe you never worry about it.
Maybe I also haven't seen Spike here, but chat is reminding me as well. There's a lot of overworld checks that are isolated right now.
Well, we're not seeing those boots in Swamp just yet.
I believe there is at least one item on the left side as well, because I think we have seen the map in Swamp.
Yeah, I believe so. Well, we've seen a dungeon item, if nothing else.
Yeah. Alright. Here's our first look at Argus. Of course, it won't be our last.
And it won't be a long one.
No, Tempered and Hookshot just wrecks the first phase. And this should be a fire spin. Clean seconds, one cycle on the second phase. And half magic.
You know, you don't hate it.
Yeah, and that might incentivize P-Train to go to ice.
Yeah, that is, for one, ice is right there. Like, that should be your next play after checking out the left side of Swamp. But also, it is a pretty magic-heavy dungeon. Arguably the most magic-heavy, but you're fighting Turtle Rock on that description.
Yeah, I'd say ice is absolutely the most magic-intensive dungeon. Because with a good sword, you can use as little as 2 shots of magic on the boss, plus a little bit here and there. But without a magic upgrade, you need a full meter to fire rod down Cold Stairs Shell. And also a few uses here and there to kill the free ores as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Turtle Rock, you're really just using it for those Samaria platforms. You don't really need it for combat. It helps with pokies, but it's less necessary.
Alright, Helmsar King. I believe Hamilton King does have an item for us as well.
Yep, we're about to see if it's a useful item or just more junk fill.
One more hit. There. Now goes Hamilton King. Meanwhile, Peach on his way to left side swamp. Third bottle with a B in it. Oh! I just thought of something.
Go on.
Boots could be on Pyramid Fairy.
That is true. We do not require them to take care of Misery Mire.
And Jet will have the access to Misery Mire here shortly, as will he have access to Swamp Palace, which we know has nothing.
Yeah, left side complete bust.
So we're running out of options for where these boots can be. There's the Armos Knights themselves. There's Misery Mire. And then there's just our straight overworld checks that we haven't done yet.
So you see, it's not just the ice rod. There are plenty of items that can lead to an obnoxious, drawn-out hunt because of one location.
I mean, that's how it goes in this randomizer sometimes. You're just looking for that one item and it can take you easily half an hour to find it. Because you've left so many checks isolated.
Or you just follow the logic in perfectly reasonable step, and that one item is just way off, doing its own thing.
There's the hookshot now for Jet. He now knows that it is find the boots and win the seed. Of course, we should probably mention this as a... Words are hard sometimes. This is, of course, Game 1, folks, as a reminder. So even if P-Train or Jet loses this game, they have a chance to come back and swing the set into their favor. So they are not out yet.
Yeah, this is just the beginning of round 4 in this tournament. Plenty to go, and whoever wins the set, we still don't know for sure who they'll be facing.
At this point, our runners do not want to see the ice rod, I think. Because that's the only thing keeping Pedestal out of play.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
For all we know, the boots could be behind Pedestal. We don't know. That's the beauty of playing the randomizer. You don't know where the items are. And this is going to be our first look at the Armos Knights. They might have them. They might have the ice rod. We don't know.
We had P-Train there using the hook shot in that room, which is the intended approach, and can make the hook shot required depending on the key layout. Of course, when Jet came in, just bomb jumped and said, "Screw your logic," basically. This is looking like a very clean, quick kill on the Armos Knights from Jet, just for 20 rupees, though.
But one more crystal closer to go mode. Still has to go kill Mothula, which will have the lamp not on him, but on the bridge, on the way on the bridge. Could also enter Misery Mire, which at this point is probably the most important check to make. Gonna check the mushroom first, though. I like this. We have not seen the mushroom yet. This could be the boots. And sadly, it is just 300 rupees. Alright. This will tell us where Jet's going. Moving to 4, Link's house, Swamp Palace.
Yep, that's a swamp play. I would say I don't hate this. I kind of feel like Meyer might be the better move. Unless, like, we all missaw and it was Ether, but I'm pretty sure it was Bombos. At this point, it's not a lot of items, but it's something that, I don't know, you're looking at 2 dungeons that you want to go mode. And kind of want to go mode Swamp a little more.
Yeah. Jet, though, is playing for item density, hoping that there's a lot of items here. One of them could be the boots. That's completely understandable in my eyes. We'll probably go to Misery Mire afterwards, going for 2 checks, and then start worrying about overall after that point. Meanwhile, though, P-Train has defeated Cold Stare. 1 more crystal added to their collection.
And right now, Ice Palace and Tower of Hera mark the only overlap these two have in terms of dungeon completion. I've been saying this is a surprising amount of divergence between our 2 runners for this seed.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna come together at one point. I think that point's gonna be Misery Mire. P-Train about to get the flute online. Doesn't have the bow yet, which is on Sahasrara for those who just tuned in. This is a really strange seed. The boots could also be in Thieves Town. P-Train has not been in Thieves Town, and he's in the area. Also, we have not seen Hammer Pegs. And P-Train has been pretty aggressive about checking Overworld, so I don't think P-Train's going to forget that check.
Well, gonna do the Sick Kid and probably Magic Bat after that. But with Thieves Town being a pendant, that weighs in. You know, you consider, is it worth diving into a pendant dungeon this late? If I've still got a crystal or 2, I can wrangle.
We've already had We've already had required progression in 2 of our 3 pendant dungeons. Hera had the hammer, and Turtle Rock had the flivers. What's stopping the 3rd dungeon from having our last bit of progression? The boots.
Very true. Yeah, Jet is making the thorough play and going straight to the left side.
Yeah, this makes sense to me. And I just now noticed P-Train's health. He has set 17 hearts blue. I don't think he needs any more health.
That's a lot of health. You're good. You're good.
Clean look at it. It is Bombos. So Ether is not part of the equation here tonight. And P-Train might go into Misery Mire here. This will be our first look.
Yeah, again, it's just the two items in there, but it's a crystal dungeon. You're gonna need to do it anyway. And it opens up the pyramid, which is another 2 items.
Yeah, a lot of value waiting in Misery Mire here, potentially. Of course, the true treasure we are looking for is, of course, the boots. Not only do they let us go fast, they're required, as P-Train will soon find out, because we are hard locked out of desert.
And here comes the unfortunate realization for P-Train. It's just a piece of art.
You're not done yet, P-Train. You're not a boat in bow and go mode. And, as expected, gonna go into Misery Mire. Now, here's a situation that could cause P-Train some issues. If we find the boots first, he might think the bow is boots locked. And he might think he finds, let's say, he finds the ice rod locked behind the boots when we know it's not required. He then might start thinking ped.
Yeah. And if you see all of that, I wouldn't blame you. So P-Train is really hoping that one of these, ultimately 4 items between Mire and Pyramid Fairy, that one of those is the other bow, and that just bails him out entirely.
Yeah, that's what P-Train is hoping for. Or at least anyone rooting for P-Train in chat is hoping for. Because this way P-Train has well and truly abandoned Sahasrara. Alright, that is crystal number 5 for Jet. No, 4, my mistake, I miscounted. Alright, Jet, where are you going next? 6, gonna check Misery Mire as well.
Yep, exactly as you said, we're getting the reconvergence back in Mire. Granted, Jet still has to do Skullwoods, but P-Train still has to do the Eastern Pod combo.
And find his bow.
And find that bow wherever it is.
We know it's over there in the region, but P-Train may not get it. The keys to doing the Eastern Pod combo are right in front in Sahasrara's hands. P-Train just hasn't done it yet.
And this is why you need to go talk to your elders. Because they have weaponry for you.
Alright, cutscene chest here in Misery Mire. Usually this is the big key. Or at least when you're playing vanilla. Today may not be.
Nope, it's just bombs today. So we know we're not going to get the 1-2 punch that P-Train would really hope for.
And we haven't seen the second item yet, if I've been keeping track of the chest.
I believe you are correct.
We are running out of overworld locations if it's not here in Misery Mire, though. And it's not. There's ether.
Oh.
So
all this is necessary. All this is perfectly sound and fair and all that, but not what we need for Go mode.
So it's Hammer Pegs, it's Pyramid Fairy, it's Spike Cave. Am I missing any locations? Is it just those three?
At this point, back of Thieves Town.
Yeah, that's the only other location. And I don't think Jet's gonna go there. If anyone's gonna go there, it's P-Train.
Yeah, that is the last place Jet is gonna go. Of any of those.
Jet's calling for other locations here. I'm only counting locations, mind you, that we currently can access. I'm not counting any fetch quests. Or items we don't have yet.
Yeah, without the book, we can't do the tablets. Without the shovel, we can't do dig spot.
Without the ice
without
rod,
the cape, we can't do. Without the ice rod, we can't do ped. Without the cape, we can't do bumper ledge. Although we know that's not it.
So yeah, we're gonna find some form of regression in one of those three locations, I think.
Meanwhile, we are seeing P-Train in the basement doing some very nice spooky action.
Yeah, that's really interesting that he was doing it without the boots. So that's actually one of the things you need for it, normally.
It's certainly the easiest setup. Clearly it's possible without them, but pretty much every guide that I've seen involves using the boots to create that dust.
There was a video I saw that showed us some bootsless setups for it, though. Alright, Vitreous only having a key. And that is crystal number... Well, it's actually crystal 5. Because I did mention that we had the 5, 6 crystals at ice at vanilla locations, but they were actually swapped in number value.
So crystal number 4 for P-Train is crystal number 5 in dungeon number 6.
Exactly.
That's math. And that's as good a time as any for P-Train to fly over, take care of the mushroom, and yeah, from here, Pyramid Fairy might be the best play.
Yeah, if this wasn't Pyramid Fairy to maybe Sahasra featuring, I don't know what you'd be doing next. But you've just unlocked the Pyramid Fairy, why not do it?
Meanwhile, I think for Jet, we're more likely to see the Skull Woods move, because we have access to that, and Jet doesn't know that it's just a lamp back there.
That is the more likely play, although could also just get the mirror flute to 4, check the Pyramid Fairy, flute to 3, and then go over to do Skull Woods.
Yeah, entirely possible as well.
Alright, Super Bomb being checked.
I don't expect to see any shenanigans with this big bomb. Most of those you need or want boots to do anyway.
Yeah. Jet can have an easier second phase here. Going to be able to shoot Vitreous. Alright. Eyes on P-Train here, folks. 2 items. Do we have the boots or do we have a fetch quest? We
The
have the
boots!
and the red mail as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in no mode. P-Train needs to go to Sahaswala for his bow.
So
And
the
he's safe
big
warped.
question. The big question is, when's P-Train gonna go visit Sahasrara? Or will he need to? Will he find the other bow?
He could be misled by the boots checks, and that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Jet, meanwhile, is going to check Hammer Pegs, which is the other location that P-Train could do before Sahasrara.
And there's the other bow!
P-Train getting bailed out. There we go. P-Train is in go mode at 124.55. If that was any other fetch quest item, that would have been bad, but that is the one to see. I wonder if he checks Sahasrara on his way.
I don't know that you bother. I don't know that you bother.
No, it doesn't look like he is. What a lucky find for P-Train.
And with all of this, Jet has a decent number of options, but really not that many. So Pyramid Fairy could be coming kind of soon, but it does give P-Train a reasonable advantage right now.
Yeah, it's still anyone's race here, because P-Train still needs to clear 3 dungeons. On his way to the first of those 3 done right now with Palace of Darkness. If Jet goes immediately to Pyramid Fairy after dealing with the Maw, gets the boots, then Jet's in the lead. Because all Jet has to do after this boss here is go to Desert. So Jet has a little bit of time here to try and make this a race.
Yeah, the big question is how many hammer locations will distract Jet from what he needs to do?
I say he goes to Ryan, doesn't he? Just mirror and go to 4, man. Gonna check this item just in case. We know it's the lamp. It makes sense. This is a very exciting turn of events here.
Yeah, this was honestly looking like Jet's race for a good while.
Jet is
One
fluting.
find. That's the flute.
Flute to 4. He's getting Pyramid Fairy. This is a race.
This is how you want to start round 4. This is how you want to start the group of 8.
I completely agree. What a turnaround here. P-Train finding his go mode in a spot we didn't expect. And Jet immediately finding go mode on top of that. This is going to be really close. Like, I'm going to say that maybe a minute at most. By the time Jet gets the boots and P-Train finishes off Armos. They might be in Desert at roughly the same time.
Oh, I fully expect them to both be in the dungeon simultaneously. This is... I think this is going to come down... If there's GT divergence, that's going to be huge.
And someone reminded
Other than that, it's execution.
Someone reminded me in chat, I called the boots on Pyramid Fairy somehow. I did not know that. So I got lucky, I guess. And at 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 7 seconds, Jet is now in go mode with the blue mail, with the red mail in tow as well. Maybe about a minute difference at this point.
I would say about so, yeah. Maybe minute and a half. Depends on how quick P-Train can get through to the Armos Knights. But that's quick.
This is definitely a good seed, yeah. Whew, my blood is pumping on this one. I'm excited. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go to bed at tonight at a decent hour.
Like, I can't imagine how it feels to be either of these runners. Like, I always wonder, do you feel ahead? Do you feel behind? Like, how worried are you to find the boots there? How worried are you to find the bow there?
I just need to take a step back here and appreciate the fact we found 2 different bows. And this
Love
bow
bows.
saved P-Train so much time. If that bow was not there, this was going to be a completely different story.
Yeah, P-Train could very well feel like that's the only accessible bow. Like, the other one is in GT, and this was just a weird, rude seed. Jet might be feeling like, I could have dipped into Mire a little while ago. Like, maybe I could have had boots earlier. It's tough to get into their heads.
One thing's for sure, though. And I'm going to pause for dramatic effect here. One thing's for sure, though. This race could very well be decided in the next few minutes.
This race could very easily be decided by a left side, right side choice.
And we'll get to that in a moment. Meantime, here's Moldorm.
Lamolas.
Landmolas. I get them mixed up all the time. Anyway, there goes the Landmolas. And with that, folks, that is the 7th crystal. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a game we'd like to play. Huffman, would you please so kind as to get it started while I explain it to our viewers?
Absolutely.
So, folks, there are 22 chests in Ganon's castle, or Ganon's tower, that can have our big key. Only one chest has that big key available to us. Give us a number, chat. Tell us which chest you think the big key is in tonight. And this is one of the key deciding factors as well to the race. If Jet takes a long time to find the big key, and P-Train finds it immediately, that's about 2 minutes saved. So, Huffman, where do you think it's going to be tonight?
I am going to say number 9.
Pretty solid guess. I'm going to say, I want those moves to be a little bit more important than they already have been. Put on the torch.
Ooh. Now, a part of me is like, I want it to be 9 for one of our runners, but not the other. I want to see that divergence. I want to see that race up the gauntlet.
All right, folks, we're going to be closing the guesses when we see Jet enter the tower. Only a couple more seconds left. P-Train now done with Desert in the meantime. Now eligible to enter Ganon's castle, or Ganon's tower as well. I'm used to playing a different randomizer, in case you couldn't tell. Starting with the Hope Room here for Jet. Small key. Shovel.
Ooh. And
Going
this is
right.
the right side play.
This could be the time that P-Train needs to get in here and get the big key. It could be in Southwest Room.
Number 3, bombs. Number 4, blue rupee. Number 5, red rupee.
Number 6, the ice rod. We were getting to pet today, folks. Alright, so P-Train goes left side. The race is tightened up considerably. Number 7, the torch. My guess. Fortunately, only 20 rupees. Jet looks to be still in the lead here, having a head start in Ganon's tower.
Yep, about a minute and a half head start.
Number
And
8!
there's the big key. Number 8.
Alright, if P-Train goes left immediately after Hope Room, there will be a time save here. Nope, going right as well. And there we have our winners in chat. And here tonight. For those watching on the YouTube front, it was Smiling Indian who won our Big Key guessing game tonight, so congratulations to you.
So with both of these runners taking the same basement route, we're looking at about a minute and a half, a minute 45 of head start that Jet has. P-Train is going to have to make that up. That's getting out of the range of a solid execution difference and where you're really hoping for a Ganon fall.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only situation that Jet can lose time at this point. A Molder Fall could also even things up, but it needs to be a couple of Molder Falls for P-Train to catch up the Jet at this point.
But of course, none of that is outside the realm of possibility here.
No, I've had Moldor bounce me straight up the 9 even to enter his arena.
And there's P-Train getting the big key and heading on up.
This
As
is
Jet takes
the
care
one
of
cycle.
Lambos too. That's, yeah.
Just a little off position with the second Lambo. Anyway, my favorite room is coming up, the Wizard of Rooms.
Yeah, these are just beautiful to watch.
Yeah, very crisp, very clean if you can pull them off. This one especially. There we go. Both of them on Tempered Sword, of course. We didn't see Gold Sword. Neither of our runners picked it up. And honestly, I can see why. Because both runners... The Tempered Sword makes such a huge difference in the Ganon fight. Like, the Gold Sword, not that much. If we had a Trinix required seed, then maybe I consider it. Because that makes you easily one cycle the heads and overall saves you maybe 15 seconds in that fight. But that's also mitigated by going to get the sword in Spectacle Rock Cave to begin with, so... Overall, not really worth the time to go get it, I feel.
Yeah, even with these runners both having to do...
Oh!
Ooh, Jet. Both having to do Silverless Ganon, like, even then, the jump from Temper to Gold is not huge. P-Train gets that one cycle, though. Very well done.
All right, time for the Aghanim 2 fight. This is not a nice pattern to get. Only a single hit there. Our runners will have the same patterns. Gets a double there, but gets a fireball. Another single. These are not very good Aghanim patterns.
Nah, it's not playing nice, but nice enough for Jet to get the clear.
Yeah, 1-2, 1. That was a 1-2-1-2, I believe. Would have been a 3, actually, if it wasn't for the fact that Aghanim only had 6 hits. But with Aghanim 2 down, it is now time for Jet to fight the pig. Tempered sword in hand, it'll be 12 slashes or 6 spins for the first 2 phases here. After which we'll move on to the ground stomp phase. Teleports are seated between both runners. 4 slashes to advance this phase. Is regardless of sword strength. And then we move on to the darkness technique. They'll tell you where the silver arrows are. Keep the torches lit. And if you had silver arrows, you fire just 4 after stunning him with the lights on. But in this case, we're doing silverless strats here today. It will be 12 spin attacks. It's for Jet to finish the day here as Ganon teleports away. It is only a 2-frame window to land this. Spins are the most consistent of hitting that window.
Yep, it is honestly not the hardest trick to learn, but it is still a trick, and it's still possible for it to go wrong.
Yes. Most notably, the biggest trick is to dance around the fire bats he's shooting constantly, because those reverse your controls. They don't actually have knockback to them. And gets the torch push as well. This saves magic in the long run. That right torch will never go out.
So this is a wonderful setup for Jet. Already 2 hits in.
This is the third there. So you might see Ganon raise his hands just briefly before teleporting. I believe that is the 2-frame window.
Jet is not pushing for any triples on this. Can't blame you.
No, going for doubles, playing it safe. Maybe one more hit.
Nope, not yet.
There
it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, get your Jason tab for Jet082, who will win and have a 1-game lead in this set. P-Train's not out yet, but needs to win his next 2 races to stay alive in the tournament. And Jet has now officially finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 47 seconds.
But we do still have P-Train close behind, already on phase 3. Just waiting for Ganon to become physical again.
And at this point, we're going to wait a little bit because P-Train's so close to finishing for the interviews. Might as well them both in. Beautiful phase 4 Ganon from both runners here. And really, what a seed this was. It came down to the very end.
Yeah, there was such, again, so much divergence this entire run. And it closed in so tightly. That's impressive.
Well, maybe one more hit now for P-Train. No, I'm always one off. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, get your GGs in chat for P-Train now. Finishing strong here. Very close race overall, I feel. And P-Train has now officially crossed the finish line in second place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 20 seconds. GG's to you, and we are, of course, already joined by one of our two racers here. We are joined by Jet, the winner of the race. GG's to you, sir. Thank you for waiting.
Hello, GG's.
And now we are also joined by P-Train. GG's to you as well.
GG.
So,
GG, Jet.
I'm just going to immediately say this. The bows in the scene were pretty insane.
Yeah, we were chatting about that. Apparently, we each got a different bow.
Yes.
Yep.
P-Train, you got the one in King's Tomb. And Jet, you got the one on the Green Pen and Turn-In.
I was not expecting that at all. I'm like, at that point when I decided to finally go to Pod and Eastern, I'm like, well, item density. I should just go and get this done. And hey, I can turn in my green pendant while I'm here. I was not expecting to be handed a bow at that point, but I'm like, this is great. I'm just going to be able to route all of this together and be done this whole area. So I'm glad I got bow there, but oh man, this seed was so weird.
It was indeed weird. And this
Yeah,
seed could have easily... Sorry, go ahead. This is your show. Your time.
Well, I was just gonna say, I felt like my early route was actually pretty solid. It was a really, really good full clear. So I got the early mitts and did skip Thieves Town, but otherwise did all the checks on my way to South Shore, routed in Purple Chest at Dam and Nagina, went back, cleaned up, Mini Moldorm, Ice Rod Cave, bit of Zora area, hobos, stuff like that. Then went and did Skull Woods, took the north route. I ended up sequence breaking to the West Dark World. But then Pod and Eastern had absolutely nothing except for a hook shot.
Yep. I had a
That's all I
feeling you
got.
might have gotten hook shot well before me, but other than that, like I felt pretty good going. I'm diving into pendant dungeons. My first 3 dungeons I enter were all pendant dungeons, but you still got hammer, green pendant ultimately leading me to bow, and of course we had to go into Turtle Rock all the way to Laser Bridge for flippers.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like the name of this seed was Divergence. Jet going deep, following the logic. P-Train spreading out, but hitting a lot of valuable areas and a lot of interesting areas, especially with that sequence break. And for it to come together like this, it's a great show from both of you.
Yeah, I'm not
I had a
100%
feeling.
sure. I'm not 100% sure anything except for the flute was actually logically behind the hook shot. Well, I guess and the boots because Meyer was a 5.6, but hookshot was
right, you needed hook shot to get and beat Meyer to get your boots. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
and
I
Swamp.
knew in my head that if boots were in Hookshot Cave, I was probably done for because I had a feeling you got Hookshot before me. So I'm like, Hookshot Cave is nice because there's 4 items, but if it's there, I'm just done. So let me go check other things like ultimately Pyramid Fairy. Man, that was just, I don't know. It felt bad because I went and cleared Thieves, got absolutely nothing. I wasn't really getting anything from my Dark World check. And it was really weird going into Dark World 10 minutes in, only having, mirror and gloves. And I'm like,
Three-
is this
three
really?
Y
This
items.
is stupid, but I'm doing this. This is great.
bombs, Burna, and Mirror.
I didn't even have Burna because I didn't do Uncle first.
Oh,
I had a whole
So-
bunch of nuttin'. 4 hearts. It was great.
So both of you also found swords really early on. Even the 4th sword, which neither of you picked up. I'm actually curious.
I
As
ain't
to both your
wasting
thought-
time for that.
I was about to ask, I was wondering what was your thoughts about that sword location, the 4th sword.
it just wasn't worth it, honestly. I mean,
Right.
granted, it was early in the game, but I mean, you already have Tempered. The only thing it really saves time on, I think, is Cold Stare. And I guess if you go to Trinex with the boots. But aside from that, it really doesn't do anything for you.
Maybe
that's what I was-
if I had boots, I would have gotten it. I don't know. It just takes. It's a couple screen transitions, walking up steps. It's just a butter sword. Who needs it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It wasn't worth the 15 seconds to go get it. It would at most saved you time if you had to try and acquire it.
Yeah, that was probably the only contingency that I was really scared of because my routing was very thorough. Like I didn't skip anything. But my biggest worry was that maybe Jet did Thieves Town, found the ice rod, and then there's like a bow on Trinex or something stupid like that. Or it's a ped seed. Either one of those would have been terrifying.
Yeah, thankfully the ice rod was in Ganon's Tower. We never found the cape, although that was not needed, or the book. And as our end screens showed, the magic boomerang was on the pedestal. Jet, you never did find the blue boomerang, though, did you?
No, I was boomerangless. Where was it?
Catfish, I think?
Oh, of course Catfish has something good.
Yeah, only
I
good
think
for
I would have
right?
menued better with it.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So, P-Train, you're a game down now. It's do or die for you. Are you going to mix things up to take things into your favor?
This has literally been my entire tournament. The only game one I have won this entire tournament was against Willard J. Bradley. Other than that, I've lost every game one, but I'm undefeated in games 2 and 3.
Oh.
So that's kind of funny.
And
But
Jet is
I fell right into your trap.
And Jet has been undefeated this entire time, so maybe you'll be the first one to give him a loss in a round. Well, yeah, we're going to,
Well-
but what is the setting you're going to choose, B-Train?
I'm going to think about it a little bit. We have a pretty good amount of time before our game 2. It's either going to be Assured Sword or 6-6. The only issue I have with 6-6 is that so often your path is predetermined. Like you don't get an option. Something ends up getting stuck in GT that forces everybody to do the same 6 dungeons.
Yeah, it's really weird because it feels like you should get a choice more often, but watching these tournament races, more often than not, the game just routes in a certain 6 crystals and the 7th has a thing in like GT or something like that.
Yeah, it's almost like whatever opens that dungeon up gets classified as junk and just thrown in GT. But so to that extent, I'm kind of hesitant to pick 6-6 because I don't want to effectively throw away my choice. I want to make some kind of change.
Well, hopefully, whatever your settings will be next time will be good. The next race for our tournament here, folks, is not tonight. It's actually tomorrow on Speed Gaming 2. It is actually the who will be facing these two in the semifinals if whoever wins. It is Zelda versus Ninban.
Yep, and as for the rest of the Speed Gaming Network, the other stuff going on, there's Final Fantasy Randomizer right now, Azure Dreams also running right now, and that's kind of it for the rest of the night. Those will be on Speed Gaming 5 and Speed Gaming 3 respectively.
Indeed. Well, GG's you two for an excellent race here. Any final thoughts before we wrap things up?
GG Jet. I'm looking forward to game 2.
Yeah, same. I also want to say, guys, Azure Dreams is such a good game. You guys should go watch that tournament. It's so neat that there's a tournament for this, practically unknown. I don't know. I feel like it's an unknown game, but it's a roguelike. Anyway, thanks for commentating and everything, guys.
Yes, of course. Make sure to also follow my co-commentator. You're here. Radio Huffman, I believe, is the Twitch link. And of course, GFE12, our tracker tonight, for doing an excellent job. And of course, make sure to follow Speed Gaming 236 so you don't miss any racing action, not just a Link to the Past Randomizer. We also feature a Link to the Past Randomizer on Link to the Past Randomizer and Link to the Past Randomizer 225 as Twitch channels as well. And the league is starting up soon, as I'm hearing. I'm going to be looking forward to watching some races from them as well. But for that being all said and done, folks, I have been Wolfling030 from all of us here at Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. We shall see you all next time, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a good night, everyone.